So, yesterday I made a video about Christopher Wolfenbarger, the man who potentially unalived a serial unaliver's daughter. And then the case started and the twist began. Because this was in no way like what I told you yesterday. I relied on news articles, and let me just say, watching the opening statements and the first couple of witnesses paints a whole different story. Because if you viewed the news coverage, it was a neat, emotional story. This grieving family who relentlessly was pursuing justice for decades, a podcaster who got the case noticed, and Christopher Wolfenbarger finally arrested and now tried for the unaliving of his wife. But that's not really what we saw in court yesterday. This is Fulton County, Atlanta. YSL trial. I don't know much about it. I think I have covered one case down there, but other than that, I don't know much about Fulton. People who watch the YSL case says, get ready. This is going to be a crap fest. If you think Mass is a mess, this is going to be worse. And yes, the lead detective says, well, about half my reports are gone. There's a VHS tape apparently showing a dog dragging a bag containing the skull of the deceased into a road. It was never disclosed to the defense. It's in no reports. The judge said, well, what can we do to remedy that? Well, tell the jury not to think about it. But it raises the question, if it did exist at some point, what else is going missing? And nothing in any of the pretrial coverage I've read have suggested that there is so many holes in this case. And then there's the grieving, fighting family. When I watch the headlines, they have been on this non-stop since 1998, where Melissa disappeared. But Melissa's sister Tina testified yesterday, and she didn't actively start pushing this case until 2015, 17 years after her sister went missing. This could be potentially, as stated by the defense in the opening statements, because the mother and sister believed that after 13 years, the dad could be up for parole, even though he was sentenced to life in prison. Yeah, the dad, the Flint River serial killer who killed at least 5 people, and the mom helped cover up these crimes and testified against him for immunity. Yeah, as I said, more twist than on a roller coaster. But right around the time where they had a belief that if he had done sufficient, he could be out on parole, is when they start pushing this narrative that Christopher was the one who did it. Interesting. It was sold like, hey, did you know that Christopher was hiding behind a dryer at his arrest? Yeah, but so what? Is it illegal to hide in your own house? No. Does it seem strange? Yes. But if a serial killer's family have told everyone that you are the one who killed their daughter, would you be a little on guard as well? And the thing is, the case already looked weak. It's a 27-year-old case. They claim they have a new witness who just came forward because they were listening to this podcast the family was talking to, and some kind of forensic tool we don't know what is. That's why it went from a dead cold case to Christopher being on trial now. During the opening statements from the state, they didn't allude to what all of this magical evidence was. So, other than trying to put a lot of circumstantial evidence out there and hope the jury will connect the dots. The first day didn't promise much from the state. And the missing VHS tape and police report wasn't the only little thing that was weird. During testimony from one of the witnesses who worked for the police back then, apparently 60 or 70 pictures of the crime scene was just turned over to the defense in the middle of trial. Never seen it before, apparently. Whoopsie. How can you run a trial like that? At the end of the trial, they also had a witness that potentially is going to testify today, where they were giving her very lengthy criminal record yesterday as well. And if I understood the DA right, they hadn't talked to her till the day before yesterday. And she's going to go testify that she smoked weed and heard them fight. Again, it's just crazy. And the family, let me get into the family. The dad, the Flint River serial killer, in prison, 5 years for lifetime for 5 killings back in the 70s. Apparently, he went to notify Tina, the sister, who is also on a criminal record. She has a couple of meth possessions, and apparently also when she lived with Melissa at her parents' house, she had a baby that she hid in a hamper. And I believe it was only mentioned during opening statement, this baby passed away. Melissa was the one who found it. The mother, who was the one who got all combobulated when Melissa didn't call at her birthday, didn't care about, she didn't call for Christmas or anything, but her birthday, that's when they started looking for her. This woman got immunity to testify against the dad. So this entire family is looking a little sus to me as well. Again, we only had one day. Everything can change today. But serial killer dad, a mom who helped the serial killer dad, and a sister who probably wasn't the best one to grow up with. And they never started looking really till 2015, 17 years after Melissa disappeared. This isn't the bill we were sold, because we were promised a family who tirelessly had fought for Melissa's justice. But I don't know. The defense tried to say this has something to do with a possible parole for the father. This sister Tina said, I'm a daddy's girl. It's two completely different stories. Was it a grieving family fighting nonstop for decades? And in the end, someone came forward because of a podcast and it was the perfect arrest? Or is it another story, missing evidence, missing videotapes, late discovery, and stories that doesn't really line up? Because what we saw yesterday on the stand, especially from the sister, wasn't strong witness testimony. She knew what to say when the state asked her. As soon as the defense came up there, she became belligerent and combative. This case is a must watch. You might be new to it, but you need to come watch it with us, because I can't tell you where it's going to go today. All I know is I've never seen such a mess on day one in a trial. And that's what makes it fun to be a YouTuber sometimes. Come join us later.